Yuga Guru Narayana ki Arati Yuga Guru Narayana ki Arati Arati Mangalamurati Arati Arati Mangalamurati Arati Yuga Guru Narayana ki Janma Marana Samudra Nigandhi Janma Marana Samudra Nigandhi Jayati Jayati Jagadguru Jayati 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 Jagadguru Jayati Raga Bhakti Jagasaudadati Raga Bhakti Jagasaudadati Ramana Manjari Radhikadasi Ramana Manjari Radhikadasi Arati Yuga Guru Narayana ki Arati Yuga Guru Narayana ki Tevari Pura Arbuda Janani Tevari Pura Arbuda Janani Triloka Mahabhagavataki Triloka Mahabhagavataki Dayala Rupa Ramana Sundari Dayala Rupa Ramana Sundari Durlabarada Dasyam Dadati Durlabarada Dasyam Dadati Arati Yuga Guru Narayana ki Arati Yuga Guru Narayana ki Mahaprabhu Ganaparsada Vasati Mahaprabhu Ganaparsada Vasati Mahamandra Rasa Vilasin Mahamandra Rasa Vilasin Amritavaniya Madhurya Premi Amritavaniya Madhurya Premi Ananda Rasika Guru Jana Kridati Ananda Rasika Guru Jana Kridati Arati Yuga Guru Narayana ki Arati Yuga Guru Narayana ki Arati Arati Mangalamurati Arati Arati Mangalamurati Arati Yuga Guru Narayana ki. We are still working on this verse number 14 of this Bhakti Rasamrta Sindhu Bindu. And this verse, what you really see here is different kinds of ways that one relishes, develops and relishes the Bhava Bhakti and eventually Prema Bhakti. So there are three stages. Sadhana Bhakti means we start chanting and also singing and attending programs and attending classes. These are all Sadhana Bhakti. But then when we advance, it will become Bhava Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti means full of emotions, feelings and emotions. And then after that comes the Prema Bhakti. Okay? So this is how the whole stages will go through. So as part of that, we really see here as the different the aspects of these Bhakti Rasa. So what are the things? Sai Bhava. Sai Bhava means out of the 5 primary ways of the relationship with Krishna. So that is either Shanta Bhava, Dasya Bhava, or Sakya Bhava, and then the Vatsali Bhava and Madhurya Bhava. Then Vibhava is, that also we studied, that is the way that we really enjoy this rasa. Anubhavas, actually they are the supplements which also augments with the bhava to really relish that. Then comes Sattvika Bhava. Sattvika Bhava, we just touched last week. Sattvika Bhava means we will get into a situation where we ourselves, without even able to control most of the time, and so many symptoms will occur. Hair standing on ends, and tears coming down, and crying and dancing, so many things will happen. That is Sattvika Bhava. Now Sattvika Bhava, then after that, then Vyabhichari Bhava, which is also called Chanjari Bhava. There are 33 kinds, which we will be seeing probably today. Anyway, okay, so this is just a prelude that I am actually giving to you. So now coming back to our reading, so today we are touching this Sattvika Bhava. Sattvika Bhava means symptoms of ecstasy arising from Sattva. What is Sattva? The lowest is the Tamasic, then becomes Rajasic, and then becomes Sattvik. And then Sattvik also we have, then Sutta Sattvik, and then Visuddha Sattvik. Okay, so actually these Sattvika Bhava which you are talking about is actually coming from the Visuddha Sattva, but the trace will be actually coming through this Sutta Sattva also. Okay, anyway, so now let us get into it now. When the heart of a Bhava Bhakta or Prema Bhakta is overwhelmed with the emotions in relationship with Krishna, this is called Sattva, pure goodness. So not everybody can actually get into this level. The Bhava or emotion that arises from that Sattva is called Sattvika Bhava. The Sattvika Bhavas arise spontaneously from Sattva without any conscious intention. This is the key. Because it just happens. You really somehow or other, you are, for example, you are hearing a Harikatha or the Leelas, you are actually reading the Leelas or relishing, and then what happened? You really all of a sudden, you are getting into the emotional state and then enter into this particular Sattvika Bhava symptoms, which you cannot control. That's what the thing is called. It's not without any conscious intentions. And also the Sattvika Bhava, there are 8 of them. All the 8 may not come at the same time. Maybe 1 or 2 or 3, 4 like that. When it comes more, because 1 or 2 coming together, we may be able to control it. Right? And then more than that, sometimes it comes, all the 8 of them may really come. That happens only for gopis, not for ordinary people. So then no way of controlling. So this is the life of this Bhava Bhakti is devotees. Okay. Now there are 8 external symptoms of ecstasy arising from Visuddha Sattva. I said. Remember, I said Visuddha Sattva, but Visuddha Sattva. But there are 3 Sattva, then Sutta Sattva and Visuddha Sattva. Visuddha Sattva is only for the Ragatmikas. Who are Ragatmikas? Ragatmikas are the eternal associates or devotees of Krishna, Radha Krishna. So now that trace is also coming through this Sutta Sattva too. But actually it is actually coming from Visuddha Sattva. That is that is where it really is in full-fledged manner. Anyway, let us see what are those. Of the 8 kinds, what are they? Stamba. Stamba means becoming stunned. So the characteristics of stamba are loss of voice and suspension of the function of both the working and knowledge acquiring senses. Okay, so basically your intelligence goes out of the picture, and also the control on the body is also actually getting loose. Okay, so this stamba arises from jubilation, fear, astonishment, despondency, and anger. What is despondency? Despondency means something like a state of kind of a depression. It's not depression. It's a spiritual depression. Spiritual. See, every feeling, whatever we are talking about, that also can happen to the materialistic person, a karmi. It can happen. But there it is horrible. But here, it is the same kind of things happening, but it is spiritual because of the spiritual touch. This is sacred. That's the difference. You have to always understand. It's not that, they are actually getting so depressed and then, taking and then going for a medication or something. Depression medication. No. This is totally a different kind. This is so much of bliss. Here also you see anger, but what kind of anger is that? That's what, Radharani always gets anger or something like that, mourn. So that's different. Okay, you have to be very careful in understanding, or rather realizing what the scriptures are actually talking about. Then second one is sweda. Sweda means perspiration. You just perspire without any control. So that also can come from jubilation, fear, and anger too. Romancha means horripilation. Horripilation means the hair standing on end, and a sense of thrill or shudder in the body. So the body just like that, it just gets into a stage where it's starts shaking, or you feel some thrill, and the hairs actually stand on end. So romancha arises from fear, astonishment, jubilation, and also enthusiasm. So most of the time, this can happen when you are hearing, a harikatha from a very advanced devotee. So that time it actually is prone to happen. See, because if you see the lectures of our Srila Gurudev, many times you can actually see that even though Gurudev used to hide, but he goes through all these so many ecstatics when he is trying to explain some leelas of Radha Krishna. So but he really hides it. He knows how to hide. But sometimes when it really goes out of control, then there is no way of hiding. For example, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are hiding, he gets so many symptoms at the same time, and so he cannot control. Okay, so this is so there are different stages we will see. Okay, so that is Sweda, means perspiration. Romancha means horripilation, that I mentioned that. So that actually can happen, fear, astonishment, jubilation, and enthusiasm. Then Swara Beda. Swara Beda means basically it's a deformation, faltering of the voice. Swara means voice. Swara Beda means faltering of the voice. You cannot talk. So in this symptom, stammering is also observed. He tries to talk something, but the word doesn't really come perfect. So that is a Swara Beda. Arises from, again, despondency, wonder, anger, jubilation, and fear. What is Vepathu? Vepathu means trembling. Trembling, all of a sudden, the whole body gets, becomes trembling. So again, remember, this we are studying. But unless one really encounters by the grace of Guru, it's very difficult to really to understand it. Okay, this is only a global level you can actually see. But only when you really encounter, for example, typically, suppose you are hearing a harikatha or, pastime of wonderful leela, then you cannot control. You started throwing out, crying and tears, everything comes there. So this is how actually happens. This is what you are reading is only just a theory. Practically it's different all the way. Anyway, so Vepat means trembling. It arises again from fear, anger, and jubilation. Anger means what? Fear means what? Fear of, Krishna is now, I am seeing Krishna. Oh, now the thing is, he may disappear. Oh, he may disappear. Remember, these are all the symptoms of Prema Bhakti. Again, Vaivarnya. Vaivarnya means change of the color. Their color also changes. You may see that. For example, when Narottam Das Thakur went to the Padma river, according to the dream from Nityananda Prabhu, he ran to the Padma river in the middle of the night. And when he really touched there, and he got the treasure, what was deposited by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with Ganga, and now he really got it, what happened to him? His color changed. So his color changed to because he used to really have fair complexion or something, and then he got changed to bluish or his color got changed. That was the reason when even the servants were actually looking for him to find out. And when he really saw, when one of the servants saw Narottam Das Thakur, he could not recognize. Yeah, it's the same. The looks like same. But who is he? His color is different. See, this is what it is. Why Varnya? Varna means his color. So when one really gets into this Bhava Bhakti, the color of the body also changes. Again, this actually comes from the several different kinds of feelings. Ashru means tears. So tears, and there are two kinds of tears that will come. Cold, the tears which are cold, and also tears which are hot. So if it is coming from because of anger, anger for angerish, if you really feel that way, then the tears will be hot. But otherwise, if you are actually feeling that, all of a sudden excitement or something very, very happy what happened, then you will see cold tears. In both there are redness, restlessness, and rubbing of the eyes. So Ashru arises from jubilation, anger, and despondency. Most of the time, that's what you will really see that. But again, how then this is coming in different ways, even though the fundamental reasons, the feelings are almost, we are reading same. The reason is, it depends on how it is acting on our body, because our body is actually made of these 5 elements. So depending on the situation of, which is actually in high dominance, then that is how it will actually come out. We have some information about that also. Also remember, these topics are not easy. Okay, you have to give full attention. Otherwise, it's not possible to understand. Then pralaya. Pralaya means collapsing. That's it. Loss of consciousness. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is actually well known, right? We have seen so many. So he just like that faints. Actually, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gets into two kinds of feelings. Either as in the mood of Radharani or mood of Krishna also. Remember, he is Krishna in the mood of Radharani. So he can change the mood at any time. So when he is actually in the mood of Radharani and relishing Krishna, Nityananda Prabhu, he is Balaram, he will not touch Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. But Gadadhar Pandit and others will be able to hold him. But when he is really having the mood of as Krishna, and then going through these kind of extracting symptoms, then Nityananda Prabhu also can really catch, because that is Balaram. Okay, so this pralaya means loss of consciousness. They will faint and then fall down, fall on the ground. Yeah? So this means all the functions in our body is actually kind of it just stops, and then everything collapses. In fact, these feelings are one level, but higher feelings are not possible to experience with our body. That is the reason the very advanced devotee, and in his next life, they may normally, depending on their stage, they may really want to be born in higher dimensions, where he will be given a different kind of body, where he can experience these ecstasies more. You see, for example, I'll just bring a small example again to make you to understand why our body is not able to withstand a lot of feelings. For example, suppose somebody is really put into hell. When that particular soul is really to be taken to hell, you will be given a body which is actually can really, which will give so much of pain. Even a little pain will be really amplified. And one cannot make suicide. See, even though, right, hell is actually there will be suffering. But the body was really given in such a way that you cannot kill voluntarily. Okay, so that is to amplify the intensity of the pain. Okay, so that is a hellish body that is given when one is actually put into hell. Then similarly, when suppose somebody is actually put into heaven, that body is also different. That body will be able to really give you more and more happiness. More and more happiness, because it's like, you are taking one ride after another, going to the Disney World or something to enjoy. So that is a different kind of body. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is, even in these human beings, our body has a lot of limitations, that because of the limitations, if it gets into some status, it just gets pralaya. That's loss of consciousness. Okay, whereas when one is there in the different planetary systems in a higher planes, where the the enjoyment of the ecstasy will be more. Okay, all right. Anyway, now all these Sattvika Bhavas are manifested in 5 stages of intensity. This is what I just gave a little glance. Remember, whether it's coming as 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 or all 8 of them. So depending on how they really manifest, right? Depending on how much intense one is in devotion, then similarly that kind of things will happen on the body. So first one is called Dumayita. Dumayita means basically smoldering. So that means the Sattvika Bhava manifests in a very small quantity by itself or combined with another symptom and is capable of being hidden. So this is easy to really somehow not to control, in the sense nobody like others cannot really see. It's inside. Okay, that is the Dumayita. Second is the Jwalita. Jwala means actually flaming. It's really trying to really something more is going to happen. That happens only 2 or 3 symptoms manifest at the same time. Very same time. Okay, and maybe that person, depending on the person, he may be able to control that with some difficulty. But then the 3 means Deepta. Deepta is also flame, but it's a burning. It's burning, not just like flame, but it's really, really high intensity. So burning, when that happens, 1, 3, 4 or 5 Sattvika Bhavas manifest very powerfully, and when it is not possible to suppress with the expression. So they will be struggling to really hide it. Then 4, actually, Gurudev, when he gives the class, sometimes, you can see, he used to have some difficulty sometimes. So he just takes this thing and, yeah. Anyway, 4th is Udipta. Udipta means brightly burning. That means 5, 6 or even all 8 of the Sattvika Bhavas will manifest simultaneously. And that is supreme exaltation, it is mentioned. Then even there is a 5. This is even more. What will happen is, this is amazing. I mean, because when you see the Udipta, which is 5, 6 are there, but this Sudipta means everything is coming. Highly bright. So the blazing. When all the Sattvika Bhavas reach, all of them, all the 8, Sattvika means 8 Sattvika Bhavas. When it comes there, that is the Sudipta. But that condition is not for everybody. That particular one, that the 5, which is a Sudipta, it's not for everybody. It's found only in gopis of Braja. And that means again Mahabhava is basically Radharani is the main one. All the other gopis don't have Mahabhava. So, yeah, you got some idea. Now, most important thing is, where are the people mostly? They are not hardly in sadhana bhakti. See, they are trying to catch up their rounds. Forget about 16 rounds and is not going to give you anything like this. Nothing. 16 is nothing. 64 maybe. And when you really go higher and higher and higher, then the whole body is really getting transformed. Your whole brain and skull and intelligence, everything is all completely transformed into this Bhava Bhakti. That's the second stage. See, sadhana bhakti, when you do that intensely, then becomes Bhava Bhakti. Bhava Bhakti means emotions are coming, but it comes and goes. Prema Bhakti means it is permanent. You will be always living in that. That is the highest stage, is the Prema Bhakti. In the Madhurya Kadambini, which we had a class, I don't know, maybe 2 times we gave the class, I don't know. I don't remember. I think probably sometime we will be restarting again. In the Madhurya Kadambini, all these details are actually given very nicely. Starting all the way from a seed, how it all grows and grows and grows, and this Bhakti Bija, or the vine of this creeper, Bhakti creeper grows and grows and grows. Finally, it enters into this Goloka Vrindavan, And there it gives a fruit. That is the ultimate frame of bhakti. Okay. So during the time, what happens is all the Goloka Vrindavan will be coming in our own heart. This is what it is. It's not something that, you go out somewhere looking for it. Because spiritual dimension is very difficult to understand. And only when by feeling, we can actually see all this. Spiritual is not far away or something. It's right here. So, all right. So now, let us go into the next one. How the Sattvika Bhavas manifest visibly in the body. Okay. That's the Sattvika Bhavas. Stamba, becoming stunned. Sweda, perspiration. Romanja, horripilation. So, then Swarabheda, that is faltering of voice. Then Vepatu, trembling. Vaivarnya, changing of color. Ashru, tears. Pralayami, loss of consciousness. Okay, so this is the... Now, let us get back to one small example. Baby Krishna was waking up from his bed. He did not see his mother, Yashoda, on the bed. So he didn't even open the eyes yet, but then, just got up, but he hasn't opened the eyes. But then using his leg, he is trying to extend the leg so that just to see whether Mother Yashoda is nearby or not. This is how the children do. Oh yeah. Oh no, missing. Oh my eye is missing. My eye missing. So he started weeping and calling for Mother Yashoda. But she was nowhere bound. Nowhere bound. So then Krishna, then he got down from the bed. And at last, baby Krishna came right up to Yashoda. And what was Yashoda was doing? She was actually doing this, churning of the butter. That is going on. But there, she was in the same this kind of mood. So he was in the ecstatic mood, thinking about Krishna. Anything that you do, thinking about Krishna, Radha, Krishna, Yugala, always what happens? That is always gives you ecstasy. So, but she could not see anything. Even though baby Krishna was actually crying, but she could not, hear. But that was still going on. Govinda Damo Dharamadaveti. Govinda Damo Dharamadaveti. Govinda Damo Dharamadaveti. Govinda Damo Dharamadaveti. Actually, Gurudev clearly explains what was going on. When he was actually churning the butter, and there was big Sankirtan was going on. And how the way the churning rod was actually making tuck, 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 and and the tuck, tuck, din, din, tuck, tick, din, din, like the mridanga. And the bangles of both the hands, they were like the kartal, ching, 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 ching. And this is going on. But Krishna was just coming. Oh, Maya is doing something. She is not, I am hungry. Oh, but Yashoda was so absorbed. But Lord Krishna, baby Krishna came and then caught hold of the churning rod. But Yashoda still absorbed, wondered, what has stopped my churning? Then she looked and saw her baby Krishna. Oh, Krishna has come, my Kannaya has come. Yashoda immediately stopped churning at once and took Krishna in her lap. Krishna was still weeping. So she wiped his tears with her veil, the cloth, the sari, and began to relieve him of his distress. She pacified him, caressed him, and started to give her milk. Now Krishna stopped crying. But Yashoda began to weep herself. She did not cry loudly, but tears of love they're all flowing softly down her cheeks. At the same time, her hairs all began to stand on end. in her transcendental loving ecstasy. Advanced devotees experience 8 bodily symptoms of transcendental ecstasy just now, as we covered as Sattvika Bhavas. And these symptoms all began to appear in Yashoda. Tears poured from her eyes profusely, and her body trembled. See the slide I showed you? And she began to perspire heavily. Now you see the thing now? Did you see the thing? Stamba, Sweda, Romancha, Swaraveda, Vepatu, Vaivarnya, Ashru, and Pralaya. And she was still in the external consciousness. It did not go away completely, but she was completely absorbed in her ecstasy of transcendental maternal affection for Krishna. And Krishna was relishing it fully. And the tears from the eyes of Mother Yashoda was just trickling on the cheek of Krishna, who was just drinking milk from her. And every drop of the tear was a relish for Krishna's. Krishna was so happy. After all, this is Rasa Raja. This is the reason that he comes down. Truly, he is not coming down to kill demons. He is not coming here to create the earth or something, create worlds and this everything. No. He comes down only to relish this Bhava, Prema. You understand? Now, look at here now, Vibhava that I was talking about. Remember, like after the verse 14. See, there are 2 things now. One is a Ashraya and the other one is Vishaya. So for Yashoda, she is Ashraya, but Krishna is Vishaya. But Krishna is also relishing. So for Krishna, he is Ashraya and who is Vishaya is Maya. Do you understand that? When I was explaining, remember I was telling about they change their role. Depending on who is relishing what. So here, both are relishing. It's not just one. And this is how Gurudev. See, Gurudev is always in that kind of ecstasy. Not everyone will be able to see. In the Guru Ashtakam, verse number 2, what do you see? Mahaprabho Kirtana Nirtya Gita Vaditra Matiyan Manasora Sena Romanja Kampa Srudaranga Bajo Vande Guru Sri Charanara Vindam. See this Ashta Sattvika Bhava is coming here. So when we sing Guru Ashtakam, this is how we have to understand. Gurudev is relishing like this. He is going through this Ashta Sattvika Bhava. This is how we have to understand. Not just like that for the sake you really sing and then go away. No. That is not going to give Bhava Bhakti. This is Bhava Bhakti you have to. So what is the meaning of this one? Mahaprabho Kirtana Nirtya Gita Vaditra Matiyan Manasora Sena Romanja. Romanja, we saw that, I showed you. Kampa Ashruta Taranga Vajo Vande Guru Sri Charanaravindam. Chanting the holy name, dancing in ecstasy, singing and playing musical instruments. The spiritual master is always gladdened by the Sankirtana movement of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. If I am talking about all these Sattvika Bhavas, everything, who else can actually show us how they are? Only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Because he is relishing the mellows of pure devotion within his mind. Not only Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Gurudev also. Sometimes his hair stands on end. He feels quivering in his body and tears flow from his eyes like waves and waves. Torrents of waves. I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of such a spiritual master. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was always in ecstasy. Always in ecstasy. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came to show us how a Prema Bhakta will look like. How? Like a mad person. Like somebody who is totally mad. So he came to show. And just like that, he sees Krishna, the deities of Krishna, faints. He goes to Vrindavan, rolls on the ground and faints. He sees the, Govardhan, Govardhan, and faints. So this is the Ashta Sattvika Bhavas. Now let us go and then see how these are going to be really showing on us, on the body. Okay, this is the thing. Okay, when the mind is overpowered by spiritual emotions in relationship with Sri Krishna, it submits unto the vital air, prana. Actually, in our body, when the mind is overpowered by spiritual emotions in relationship with Sri Krishna, it submits into the vital air. The prana. So the pranas in our body, there are several kinds of pranas running. Something running from top to bottom, bottom to up, and then so many pranas are running. This coming from called vital air, vital folds. The vital air then also experiences transformation, causing the body to become excessively agitated. At that time, the Sattvika Bhavas manifest on the body of the devotee. As the vital air moves throughout the body, it comes in contact with the 5 elements of the body and thus produces different Sattvika Bhavas as described below. Watch now. This is a very, very nice, wonderful way of, how they happen. So, in association with this prana, which is now overpowered by this ecstasy, it acts on the earth element in your body. That is what is actually making the stamba, becoming stunned. And when the prana acts on water, ashru, tears come down. When the prana acts on the fire element, sweda, perspiration comes. And vaivarniya, the change of the color also happens. And when the prana acts on the sky element, which is ether, pralaya happens. Pralaya happens, loss of consciousness. Also remember, ether element is also associated with fasting. These 5 elements, this ether element is, that's what we call it sky, which is intimately related to the fasting. Fasting when we do, this is the element which will be active. And this is the senior most element actually. Of all the 5 elements, that is the senior most element. Okay. Anyway, so the pralaya is coming in the loss of consciousness. That's what it paints completely. Actually, air, in the picture, air should have been actually put up there. Actually, the way up there actually. Anyway, so when the prana acts on air element, which is basically what we breathe, romanja comes, haripulation. That is, now on the air element, there are 3 levels of intensity that acts on. So when it acts mildly, then haripulation happens. That is why many times romanja is actually common. Then kampa is trembling. That means moderate. And the swara beda means faltering of the voices may mean intense. You can't even talk. Okay. So this is how it really happens. Okay. Coming there. Now, 3 further types of Sattvika Bhava. So Sattvika Bhavas, not just whatever the 8 there are the primaries. There are another 3. This has 3 different gradations actually. Snigdha means is the best. That's why it's called smooth also. So that arises because of the Mukhya Rati. What is the Mukhya Rati? 5, that's the Shanda, Dasya, Sakya, Vatsalya, and then the Madhurya. Those are the 5. By 5 Mukhya Rati. Mukhya means primary, important. Then Gauna Rati. Gauna Rati, there are 7 of them. Dancing, the singing, remember those are the other things there. But the Snigdha is very smooth. And the Snigdha, again. So Mukhya Rati, primary or Gauna Rati. So these are the 2 ways that the Snigdha can happen. But what we are understanding here is, this is the smoothest, means highest grade. Then Digdha means, okay, this is actually happens to some devotee. But it is not because of the Mukhya Rati. He does not have Mukhya Rati or Gauna Rati. But what happens, for some reason, he's really, all of a sudden, he's really listening to a Harikatha or something which he did not even anticipate. So he gets into the Digdha. Digdha is smeared. It is a medium level. Then the Ruksha means rough. This happens, this person does not have any bhakti at all. But again, he's hearing some wonderful kirtans or wonderful something, he really hears that, and then, he also gets the glimpse of it. Actually, it is abhasha. See, Ratyabhasha, okay, which is another topic that we will be talking about.